Hi, welcome to Comic Talk. I'm Drew.
I'm Christina.
And this is our weekly pull list review for June 15th. Bam! We have 5 titles this week. First up, we got Superman Rebirth, Batman Rebirth. You have to say it in that voice.
Rebirth. No.
Descender, Astonishing Ant-Man. There we go. And I Hate Fairyland. So we're going to start off this week talking about Superman Rebirth. This is, what is it? Tomasi, Gleason, Gray, and Khalees. K-Lights?
So what I got from Superman was, it's about his son, kind of.
Yeah, he's a big character.
It's kind of introducing the Superman family unit, and the son is starting to get power like Superman, and
right.
So Superman's trying to teach him how to use it, and of course something
goes awry.
Yeah,
it's a story about people.
Yes.
So when the first one of these came out, which is weird because I guess there's just 2 number 1s of all these Rebirth titles. The first one I thought was probably the strongest of the Rebirth. And this one I opened up to the first page and I was totally with it. And I opened up to the second and the third page and I was totally with it. I was like, yes, fuck yes, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be a very deep, introspective title. Despite everything going around in Rebirth and the fact that most of the number 1s we read were super shallow and just kind of on the nose and whatnot. So yeah, up to that point I was totally with it. And we got this nice 2-page spread, that I'm sure all the fanboys were super into. Beyond that, this one I felt was a little bit of a letdown story-wise.
I didn't feel like it was doing anything new. I think anybody can write about the son of Superman.
Yeah. So this is technically it's Superman from a different Earth or something because the actual one died. So this is Clark Smith instead of Kent or whatever. Yeah. And flipping back through it, I will say that the artist, I think, did an awesome job. And the colorist did an awesome job. This is just a really pretty book to look at. All the perspective is very creative. There's some good paneling work in here. Yeah, key moments like this, they just feel intense. And the colors are, so vivid. And it's just really well done. But again, coming back to the story, it just doesn't... There's nothing exemplary about it. I would put this, if somebody said, oh, I read, this issue of Superman, I'd say, okay, well, it's probably, pretty close to this. There's nothing really, special about it.
Yeah.
I would say kind of a letdown overall. And you're not even, a big Superman fan, which I'm not either, but I probably read a little bit more than you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Smallville.
You watched Smallville, okay.
I loved Smallville, at one point, and then it just became, redundant, but
and it was on 10 years ago or something like that, so standards have changed, I'm sure. But we consider good and whatnot. You coming in as a new reader, not really knowing that much about Superman or that much exposure to it, you're still it's nothing new.
No. The only thing that surprised me was just typically you expect a boy learning about his powers and the consequences of his powers, he blows up a barn or some kind of inanimate object, but in this case it was a living thing. So
yeah.
I think that was the only thing that surprised me was just that's how he learns. He should probably not use his powers without supervision for a little bit.
Supervision. That was clever. And again, the first 3 pages, I was pretty into it. I think maybe just the fact that this is in a bi-monthly or bi-weekly format now, you don't necessarily, or this writer didn't necessarily have the time to really get to everything that he wanted to do, so we had a good
because it was
couple dense pages.
it just went completely different than I thought it was going to go. I thought it was like, I was like, what's with the handprint? What's with the glowing handprint?
Yeah.
And then no. We just, I was like, oh, who is this?
Again, comics pieces of the puzzle and whatnot, but yeah, going from this like super dense first couple pages and then just like the very sparse narration after that and very like surface level conversation and everything.
Oh yes, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be set up, but I don't know.
Yeah. So rating out of 10, I'd give it like a 6 maybe. I mean, it's fair. Right on the upside of like standard superhero bullshit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Batman. And this is King, Finch, Banning, and Belair. So King and Belair is a team that I'm a pretty big fan of. They work together on the Vision right now.
Oh, is it the one that we read a while back?
I think Vision? We did, yeah. We got an issue of Vision in there. Okay. Yeah, okay. Like the super smart sci-fi. Yeah. Batshit crazy. So, plot synopsis.
So much action.
Yeah.
So, Batman has to stop a plane from destroying Gotham.
Yeah, a group of people stole some missiles from somewhere, and they got 2 of them, but one of them got away and ran into the Narrows. And then right as he's learning this information, surprise, a missile hits a plane.
And then he has to do like the whole sacrifice myself, and there's this crazy guy, I think, on the plane. I don't know, he was wigging out, and he was just like talking about like Gotham gives us the hero that we deserve, and like what kind of hero does Gotham deserve, and like
if we had chosen to fly to Metropolis or something like that, like Superman would have been there for us, but no, we had to go to fucking Gotham. We got the one guy like, without any powers, and like we're all fucked now.
But he has gadgets.
Yeah, he does have gadgets. So I mean, it's number 1, pretty comfortable coming in. How did you feel?
I felt fine with it. Like, I mean, I liked the questioning of like what. Well, because, like, I mean, Gotham is, like, okay, so, like, when I think of Metropolis, I just think of, like, you know, any large city, but, like, Gotham, I could just think of, like, just dark and grimy and gritty, so, like, when he's asking, like, what kind of hero does Gotham deserve, it's, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Batman's doing what he can, but, like...
It's a shitty place, like, what are you gonna do?
Because, if you, like, switched... Superman, like, put him in Gotham for a while and, like, put Batman in Metropolis, like, I do wonder, like, how would that go?
Yeah, I think Superman would cry. Personally. But that's...
It's not clean here, it's not clean.
Right. Prior to this, Josh and I were reading the Scott Snyder run on Batman, and we ended up dropping it just because everything was, like, just so, like, on the nose and easy.
Yeah, I heard it was
like,
trite.
Yeah, it's super trite, like, just not giving us anything new, and it was all very, like, surface level, too. Like, every time you wished he would go into depth about something, it's like, those are the parts that he would just, like, skim over. Like, it was almost like spark notes in literary form. I was very, very happy with this, in that there's so much detail about all this shit. Okay, so he's got to stop this plane from going down. So... based on that, like, the height of the buildings that he's passing gets brought up, the space between the buildings gets brought up, like, space between, like, this landmass and this, like, water mass gets brought up, and that's really just, like, scratching the surface. Like, there's so much, like, technical little planning that goes into this mission that he's trying to accomplish or whatever, which I thought was great. Like, I think Batman is truly at his best when... it's written, like, super detective-y. Like, you feel like these are decisions that people would have to make in this situation that you wouldn't even think of because you've never been in a situation like that. Right. So Tom King has a bit of CIA background that I have to believe that he's pulling from this because that's the way it feels. You know, it feels like that sort of, maybe sort of spy-ish, but just... the way it's put together with all the information.
Like Black Ops or like just some kind of like, I mean, like he, it's almost like he's a one-man kind of, or like a two-man military.
Yeah, he's got Alfred. You know, but he's the one out there like actually doing the shit and making the decisions and everything.
She's got somebody like as his eyes. But so
Yeah. So super pleased with that. And again, the guy on the plane that's like losing his shit, I think was like a great foil for the whole situation.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really just. I mean, I wonder if they're going to continue, like, if that's going to be, like, kind of a recurring theme, like, what kind of, because, I mean, we've got the introduction of, like, different characters at the end, and, like, is it just going to keep asking, like, what kind of, or does, like, Gotham produce these heroes, or are these heroes kind of, like, answering the call to, like, what's already happening with Gotham?
And that's a bit of a spoiler, like, for the end, but since we've already mentioned it, so, yeah, so we get these two new people at the end, and they're looking very, like, just regal and very, like, Superman-esque and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
so,
it's kind of, at first it's like, what?
Yeah.
Superman get a new outfit? Or Green Lantern get a new outfit?
Yeah, so it's a big, like, what the fuck kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think the whole idea of, this guy's rant and, what kind of hero does Gotham deserve and stuff like that, I think that's going to be a big player in this, at least this arc. Art-wise, what did you think?
I mean, it's easy to look at, and
it's easy to look at
because, like,
but what does that mean?
I don't know, like, sometimes when I'm looking at art, like, some of it is so detailed and it's nothing bad, but it's like your eye works harder.
It's kind of like a strain.
It's like,
from, like,
especially when you're trying to, like, quick read, or, like, you're trying to, like, get to, like, the actual, I guess, climax of the story, like, but you're just, like, slowed down, which sometimes that's totally fine. But I think with this art, it's got, like, all of the details, but it's not
strenuous.
Yeah.
I would say maybe, like, the colorist would be.
I mean, they go for like the shadowy dark still. Just, I mean, it's still, like, it's still Batman. Like, that's his.
That's his deal.
Comes with shadows and
it's part of the territory.
Darkness, yeah.
You come out in the daytime and it's fucking dark around him. Like, it's just the way that he works. But yeah, the addition, I think, by the colorist of shades in certain spots where. I mean, a lot of artists would go to, like, cross-hatching or some sort of stuff like that. But, just because of the way it's colored, you get that sort of implied shading and stuff like that without, like, the really heavy pencil work and stuff. And color palette, pretty standard Batman. The last run, I think, made a point to use a little bit brighter colors in certain spots and stuff like that, which was a nice change of pace.
It's more like
but it's
cartoon also instead of...
Well, not necessarily. It's just certain things, like things that would normally be colored were just a little bit more vibrant than they would usually be, which was a nice, like, offset to the dark colors.
Yeah.
But it's nice coming back to the standard Bat palette too. And there was cool paneling in here. Like, it's great all around. This is probably the best Rebirth book, in my opinion, that has come out. Just given I haven't read all of them, but yeah. So next we have Descender. This is, of course, by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen.
Oh, yeah. I think this one's just mostly a background story on Tim 22.
Yeah, which is awesome. So you were actually here when we read the last issue.
That was the... Okay.
That was the previous issue.
Okay.
So, that one was a bit confusing because it was, like, all this plot point that had been building up to that point. So, like, just jumping in issue number 11... It's not the most comfortable spot for it, And then we had, like, this thing at the end where it's like we find out that one of the Tims is evil, and interestingly enough, you totally saw that coming as, like, a new reader because you're like, oh, evil twin, duh.
Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of a big deal. So this, like, getting a lot of backstory on Tim 22, it really goes a long way, I think, in bringing in that classic sci-fi, like,
okay.
If a robot was a person.
Did you think Highlander, like, at all?
Highlander.
There can be only one.
Oh, right. Well,
like the whole, like, there can be only one.
He just wanted to be special, was the whole deal.
That should be the only one. The only special one.
Okay, I'll let you have it. But giving him this very, like, I mean, obviously, this can't be 100% of a human backstory because it, it wouldn't work. Like, you couldn't just shut a human child in a closet for like 3 weeks and then open it and be like, oh, hey, you're still here or whatever.
But you can kind of see it, like, in his face, like how it's affecting him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, these are all the characteristics of like a rough upbringing that we usually associate with somebody that like turns out to be evil. Like he gets burnt with a cigarette and his hair pulled and like hit and everything, and then like he finally gets out of there, and then people just want to like take him apart, and scrap him for parts and stuff like that. So
it's been a rough life.
It really has, yeah. So I really applaud Jeff Lemire for taking the time to really go back and build him as a character, and why is he this way, instead of just saying, oh, well, he was built evil, or something like that, which I think is usually the tactic that people use in the situations. It's just like, oh, somebody built an evil robot, and now the good robot has to combat him.
Well, and also, like, it's still dealing with the whole, I mean, what is a human and what is AI, and like, can they feel, and like, did we program for them to feel, or did they develop that on their own? And like,
and just as a reader, you feel bad for him. Like, you know he's a robot. Yeah. And you're like, fuck, man. Like, this poor guy.
I know. Well, and that's why you can't just, like, call him just a robot. He's a kid.
Yeah.
And he's, like, trying to learn, like, how to, like, be... blend in and, like, be a person. And, I mean, like...
But from a slightly different perspective. Because it's like he's with this guy because those are his orders. Like, he can't leave him.
Yeah.
So he has to stay there regardless, which is kind of like the parent thing. But like all this shit happens to him, and it's like, you don't know how bad I want to leave, but I can't because this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, he then starts to believe like this is my purpose in life, is just to get beat up by this sour old fuck. And then we get a good fight scene at the end. Artwork,
I mean, I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's consistent. It was the same as the last time. Still like the
watercolor
blurring, watercolor blurring lines, and
I do think he's getting a lot better at like detail and stuff though, and like making people discernible from one another and stuff.
And because you can definitely, I mean, and even with like facial expressions too, like we're getting more of even just like a quirk of like like his mouth when it was like kind of a grimace, or like these eyebrows here. Yeah,
which I imagine in watercolor is pretty hard to do, so Dustin Nguyen's fucking G, man. This dude knocking it out of the park. So the series, like, every time it like starts to come down a little bit, like it just bam straight back up, like even higher than it was before. So
that's
good job, guys.
there.
All right, so next we have The Astonishing Ant-Man by Spencer Rosanes and Boyd.
So was this a continuation from the last issue where like Cassie
I think there was
pretends was there
one or two issues between.
Okay, I was thinking there probably was, but okay, so this one is just like he's put together a team to just go in and save Cassie. That's like the whole point, right? And it's like
this one I think captures the Ant-Man vibe as I'm used to it a lot better than the last one that we read together. Because the last one we did was pretty serious. It was from Cassie's perspective, and it was a lot of backstory on her, and then just how she came to like make this decision and everything, whereas Ant-Man's usually pretty light. I mean, he deals with like some serious stuff, but it's Ant-Man. He doesn't take himself any more seriously than we take him. So, what did you think?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's still, I mean, it's just like who I'm used to, and like he's kind of like, what is he like breaking fourth wall there? Just kind of like telling us.
Well, he does that all the time.
Okay. Yeah. Telling the story. I liked, what was it called? The 22-step heist.
Yeah. That was great. The machine
it's the whole thing, and they're like, we're not even there yet.
Yeah. Like one of the steps is seriously like, I stay back out of dangerous way. This book just feels like I almost feel pandered to, like in the way that it fits something that I would like so well. but it's so well done that I can't not like it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like laughing at a joke about yourself, like, constantly, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even the beginning, there's this whole throwback to, like, a Office Space where he's like, but maybe before you get at the jump to conclusions, Matt, you know? So, you know, he's obviously, like, writing to, like, our demographic. Like, you know, anybody really younger than us doesn't really know anything about Office Space or anything like that. Right, yeah. But it's just so fun and funny, and it's just a good time.
Yeah.
Like, every time.
Really, like...
Yeah.
I think it's sort of one of those... I mean, it's like you read, like, Batman or Superman, and then you read Ant-Man, and it's like a nice break from denseness.
Yeah, it's super serious. Yeah. Mm.
Still got that family vibe.
Yeah.
Like, from the last time that I read it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the daughter isn't... I don't know, she's not much like him, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure she can,
really.
like, take a joke, but, I mean, she's a little more... It's like she's trying to get taken seriously. I don't know if, like, she wants him to take her seriously, or... Because that seems...
I'm not sure. I mean, she's definitely rebellious.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe it's that whole thing where it's almost like the Rebel Without a Cause theme, where it's like he didn't feel like his dad was taken seriously, so he wouldn't let anybody not take him seriously. So it's that same kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah. And again, just the laugh out loud moments.
I love
every season. Cue Ocean's 11 soundtrack.
Yes, like the bird poop and get the guards confused on why there are birds pooping.
Right, yeah. And just down to little details, like the bear guy still being in his bear suit when he's supposed to be...
Why is he wearing a bear suit?
Yeah, he's supposed to be like masquerading as like a security guard.
Yeah.
They basically just have on their normal like supervillain shit, but then they put on like the guard stuff over that, and that's just supposed to be okay.
I'm not sure who the bear guy is.
I think his name's like Grizz or something. He showed up in like way back.
Does he have superpowers?
He's just really strong.
And he just likes to wear a bear suit? Like, does the bear suit give him powers? Or, like, can he be powerful?
He's just a bear facsimile, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I liked the Wizard of Oz reference.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
just
good
like,
too.
I'm a bear.
Artwork, I would say is pretty standard. Marvel, comic book, whatever. Like, even down to the paneling, it's really nothing special, but I think it fits the book, you know? It's like, if it took itself too seriously, I think it would detract.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, it's not... I mean, it really doesn't distract you from the story. It's just like, these are the images you need to see, and then here's what's going on. And like, you're getting, just a view. Yeah.
And I think the focus really for the artist, I'm sure, is just on creating visual humor and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was in Nick Spencer's direction that, again, the guy was supposed to be in the bear suit under his security suit, or, you know, what the deal is with that. But, yeah, just the visual humor knocks it out of the park. All right. Last one. We have I Hate Fairyland, number 6. This is by Scotty Young and Jean-Francois. We always struggle with this name every time. Beaulieu, Ballon. Beaulieu? French.
Yeah. I took French, but, you know, I haven't had to use it for a while. Sad. Gertrude?
Yes.
Gertrude? I don't know. The introduction was like Gert of Thrones.
Yeah.
Which I...
It's a good play on
it. So yeah, she's queen of Fairyland. And she's, you know, pretty much just bringing all of her chaos and destruction to her queendom.
Yeah. Which, to be clear, like, it starts out, there's a sort of dream sequence where she believes that...
Yeah, which I was a little disappointed it was a dream.
Yeah, she's picturing herself as an adult with, you know, giant boobs and all this. Everybody loves her for just murdering everything. And,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. But. So it goes back to reality after that, and she really just hates being queen.
Oh, yeah.
She discovers, like, even as an evil queen, like, she could go out and, like, you know, conquer all these places and, you know, pillage and plunder and whatnot, but she would still be
stuck
in a room with a throne in it, signing documents.
Yeah, that's like her biggest complaint is just signing.
Yeah, it's boring. Like, she's used to, like, going out and, like, murdering shit with axes and stuff. Like, she doesn't want to be fucking stuck there. And there's even, like, this page in the back where creator Scotty Young's talking about it, and he said he thought about, you know, having, like, an arc or two where she was, like, queen and, you know, having that be it, but the more he thought it out, like, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, it just didn't fit her as a character. So, yeah, he pulls this... Really, this shit that I should expect from him at this point, where he, like, has this big reveal at the end of something and sets the status quo in a completely different place than what it was, and then the next issue that comes out just immediately fucks it off, and they go and do, like, something else.
Yeah.
Like, every time there's a status quo change, it's, like, a matter of pages before there's a bigger one that just, like, undoes everything that's already happened, which is fantastic. You know, it's...
I mean, I didn't question it, like, her not wanting to be queen at all.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it really just, it looks boring.
Yeah, it's super boring, and it's not becoming of her as this weird little girl that pisses in these bottles that are alive.
A mental breakdown. Like, everything is, I don't know, it's either, like, cute but monstrous, or...
creepy as hell.
Just,
Yeah. This almost, like, made me think of, like, The Aviator or something like that, where he's just trapped in his room and pissing in bottles. And, everything's just dirty and nasty. But again, tons of fun to read.
Her sidekick, Larry. Yeah. But I love, it's like, she gets in a situation every time, he's just like, I'll bring the car around. Yeah,
it's this recurring joke where it's just like, she fucks something up, and it's like, and just go get the car.
Yeah.
Then there's explosions that happen just cause.
I know, it's just, you know, it just happens.
Yeah. So there's, like, a couple beats in here that just, like, keep coming back in different and more obscure and obscene ways. And it's just, I mean, for, like, a funny book, it's really smart the way it's all put together. Like, I mean, the dialogue isn't super heady. The concept isn't super heady. Like, the plot isn't even, like, really complicated or anything. I mean, it's complicated because it changes a lot. Yeah. That's about it. But it's just really well done, you know?
Yeah.
Artwork?
I mean, I just think Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Just, like, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. I mean, even, like, with the, like, absurd, grotesque, and, like, the close-ups. I mean, it's just, like, that's... And just how colorful it is. It just, like...
I would say it's even, like, brighter than Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. It's, like... Well, and that's what I was thinking of Wreck-It Ralph. Because there's, like, these scenes where, I mean, there's just, like, candy everywhere. And, I mean, it's not as detailed as this. But just, like, the brightness and then, like, how... Yeah. I mean, you would think there'd be candy there.
Well, I mean, it's...
I mean, there kind of is.
Fairyland. There's candy everywhere. Gross. She built, like, a huge wall out of candy. But
it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to eat the candy there.
Yeah, well, she doesn't either because she's been eating nothing but candy for, like, forever now. So, yeah. In real life, she'd gone into a diabetic coma, like, forever ago. So, yeah, again... Scotty Young and Jean-Francois Ballon knocking it out of the park. High contender for favorite book of the week. I was really pleased with a few of them. I really like Dissenter. I really like the new Batman. But this is just super strong. And I've been Fairyland-less for, I think, like, a month or two now.
Oh.
It was sad. So super glad that it's back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Scotty. All right. Well, that's it. So... Josh will be back for the weekend show. You'll be back next Wednesday for another one of these. And Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr.